Hi, this is Renee from iteachblogging.com, and someone just emailed me and I wanted to just talk about this email in this video. So here's the email. I just bought my domain name and Bluehost for my brand new blog. I'm wanting to learn the basics of how to start making my blog look good and also creating content. It's such a big job, lots of work. I listened to your podcast, How to Fail at Blogging from the Start, and I loved it. Any help you can offer me. I'm watching your YouTube videos on WordPress. Thank you for helping me. Okay, this was from Angie in Alpine, United States. I'm not sure where that's at. So hi, Angie. Okay, so this is such a great question. I get this email a lot. And yes, I've created a lot of content, but I thought we could talk about it here in this video too. So thank you for asking, Angie. I'm going to send you this video when I'm done. But the first thing is, thanks for listening to my podcast. And it is fantastic that you bought your domain at Bluehost. Now, Angie and I have already had a couple of email exchanges, but I wanted to follow up with this here. If you bought your domain at somewhere like Bluehost or anywhere, you can buy your hosting elsewhere. I highly recommend SiteGround Hosting. I love them so much. I used to use JustHost, which is a Bluehost company. But recently, well, not recently, a couple of years back, I switched to SiteGround. They're so much faster. Their support is so much better. And they also do backups of your blog and a bunch of other things. But the backups is a really big deal. That is not something that Bluehost offers as a standard operating procedure anyway. So if you bought your domain at Bluehost, no problem. Just point it to SiteGround. Don't worry about what that means. Just ask them. They will walk you through it. It's really simple to do. Okay, it's not really simple. It takes a few steps. It takes a little bit of knowledge. Email me. I'll help you. Not a problem. So it doesn't matter where your domain is. All that matters is where your hosting is. Your hosting, now, yes, things can go wrong with the domain too, but it's not as likely. The hosting is the big thing. The hosting is what controls the speed. And if the site is going up and down or not. Bluehost sometimes has some problems with that. Overall, they're a good company, and I used to recommend them, but I just don't use them anymore personally. So that's kind of that. Now, on the question of how should you get started? I just answered this question on Reddit as well, which is why someone had asked me there, which is why I wanted to do this video. So, number one, what are you going to blog about? What is your blog theme topic? Whatever that topic is, write it down, think about it, and think it can be broad. You know, it's okay if it's like, for example, homeschooling or talking to moms who happen to homeschool. That's a great topic, by the way. The second thing is, once you have that, go to Google. Go start Googling that topic and see what are the first blogs that come up. Make a note of them. Create a spreadsheet for yourself. Make a note. What are those first blogs? What are they doing well? What do you like about them? And then pay attention and see if you can find out what their categories are, okay? Because that's going to help you start figuring out what you want to blog about. Because you want to, believe it or not, you want to be similar to the people who are already blogging. No, you don't want to plagiarize. You don't want to steal from them. But you do want to be inspired. Okay, so once you have done some competitive research, you also want to pay attention to what their blogs look like. That design factor matters. It has a big impact on your success, believe it or not. It's not the most important thing. That's obvious when you look at Craigslist, but Craigslist did something else that was unique. So their design wasn't as important. But when it comes to reading content and blogs on a regular basis, you definitely want it to be somewhat attractive, right? You want it to be pleasing to the eyes. So the other thing is, once you have your topic, once you've done a little competitive research, write down 3 to 5 categories. Don't go crazy on this. Don't go crazy on this because it's going to take time to grow your blog. So choose 3 to 5 categories. A category is overarching. For example, for me, a category is WordPress tips. A category for me is content creation tips. All right. A category for me is how to start a blog. Okay. So then the next thing is, after you have your categories, write 10 blog post titles. These do not have to be committed titles. These are just rough drafts, okay? But write 10 rough draft titles of what you think you could blog about for each one of those categories. Once you have 10 blog post titles for each category For if you've chosen 3, then that would be 30 titles. That's a lot of work. I know that. But this is really going to help you define the direction of your blog. The reason that I suggest this is because if you say, oh my gosh, I want to start blogging, and then you just sit down and you start writing your first 3, first 1, first whatever blog post, you're going to lose direction. You're going to get sidetracked and you're going to start to feel overwhelmed. But if you spend the time up front thinking about what it is that you're really going to blog about, because sometimes once you get into the meat of it, you'll realize you changed your mind. I use the example when I'm teaching this. I use the example that I love productivity. I'm not particularly good at it. I'm always in process, always working on it. But I love productivity very much. And I wanted to blog about productivity, but once I went through these steps, I realized I didn't have enough to offer to create an actual blog out of it. So I pivoted to something else, blogging actually. And that has been my theme topic. That has been what I talk about and everything arching around it. WordPress, content creation, social media, all of the things that I talk about all point back to blogging as a concept. So sometimes when you go through the steps of getting these categories, your blog topic, your competitor research, creating your categories, and then writing those blog post topics, you will realize that maybe you want to pivot to something else, and that's okay. After you have done all of that, then I suggest that you build your blog, but not until then. So I hope that this helps. If you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out to me, Renee, RENEE, at iteachblogging.com. All right, guys, blog on.